Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everyone, or good morning, as the case may be tonight, because we are talking with some folks from CG UK, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor and Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here at criticalblast.com. And we are going to talk tonight with Lucifer Storm of Lady Satan. Lucifer, how are you tonight?
I'm not too bad, man. How the devil art thou?
Oh, don't send me into Tom Ellis mode now, Lucifer.
It's hard not to when I have a name very similar to one of his.
Exactly. Now, okay, you can lie to me if you want, because that's what Lucifer does. But is that a pen name or is that true birth name?
It's a pen name.
Excellent.
I will admit right off the bat, it's a pen name, and it's because I've done so much work in the past using my real name, and a lot of people have trouble pronouncing it and spelling it, and I find it actually puts people off buying books when they see a name that they're like, I have no idea how to pronounce that. So it was about beginning of this year that I was like, I need a more sensible name to use as a pen name. Nothing worked. I wanted to keep my actual surname of Storm. Nothing worked. I had this long list of all these names. I was like, nah, nothing works. And then my friend Tony, he had put me onto the show Lucifer, and I was like, Lucifer Storm, it's got a ring to it. I think I'll do that.
It's interesting how important names are to people, and
Yes.
the mood that it conveys.
Yeah.
I had the fortune to interview, before he passed away, the voice of Tony the Tiger, Thurl Ravenscroft.
Oh, wow.
And then one of the first things I asked him was, the derivation of his name, because it was just like this Nordic, English, beautiful combination of things. And he went into how, Thurl was a friend of his dad, and Ravenscroft, of course, was English. But it matched his voice more than anything. I mean, that rolling thunder was in the name in the beginning.
Yeah.
So Lucifer Storm, yeah, it absolutely does work. And is Lady Satan your first comic that you've done before?
I have done other comics before, but this is the first one that I'm crowdfunding, and this is the first of kind of like one of my new characters, because a long time ago I was working on my own characters, working on books with them, and unfortunately the runs didn't get finished because I had to take legal action against someone that I was working with at the time, and my characters were in jeopardy. So I actually had to put the rights to my characters over to a trusted friend for several years to make sure that my characters weren't taken away from me, because there was a huge risk of that happening whilst this legal battle was going on. But during that time, I couldn't work on them either. So it gave me a bit of time to kind of hone my craft a little bit more. And this is kind of like my first book back.
Yeah, that sucks when you have to do that with somebody. It's not any fun at all. I'm trying to bring up some of the images here because I am, as usual, woefully unprepared.
Oh, don't worry about it. I do a weekly stream with Russ Leach from Only Death Can Save Us.
Yeah, I know Russ.
Yeah, he's one hell of a guy, man. He's an awesome dude. And every week we always think we're so prepared, and then the show goes live and we're like, nope, we weren't as prepared as we thought we were.
It's by the seat of my pants, as always.
Yes, absolutely.
It's how I roll. So I'm bringing up some of the pinups here, is what I'm trying to do. If I can,
wonderful.
I can pull that off without showing my porn. I mean, without doxing myself. Oh, I don't. You sent me all the files, and they're still in my downloads directory. I just pulled the one I wanted for the mock-up, and then there we were. So I should have unzipped them all already, and I didn't. But I'm just going to go with the pinup here and show this real quickly.
Yeah, please do.
I'm loving this.
Thank you. I'm glad you're loving it.
I'm getting, and obviously I've not read the book. I have not read the book. I'm looking at a picture. And right away, what I'm getting is Tank Girl cosplaying Borderlands in Sin City.
Oh, nice. That's a hell of a combination.
It's just, you know, the shaved head, the gas mask, the obvious black and white, and just a bit of red is evocative of the Frank Miller book. How close am I on the mark to that one?
You're not too far off, actually. I would say that Frank Miller's Sin City has definitely had a bit of an influence. I do really like Tank Girl, but I don't think she's been too influential on this story. I think it's come from more, I call it an outlaw comic. So I would say stuff like The Crow and Crossed and Grips, Scars, lots of books like that. They've kind of influenced this book a hell of a lot, I would have said.
Yeah. Now she's dressed sexy, but there's a lot about her when you look at it that is not sexy.
Yes.
I mean, you got these scars and these veins here in places where, like, oh, that's a little bit clinically detailed. It's not something somebody do to show that kind of thing, and it makes her more real and more frightening, I guess. Not frightened with the scars, but just, you know, she's not somebody that you're going to be seduced by or want to seduce. She's somebody who's going to kick your ass, and it's very clear that this is what she's out to do.
Oh yes, she doesn't really arouse people; she scare-rouses them.
Oh, that's a good word. Lewis Carroll would like that portmanteau. I'm going to take that off there and bring the page back up. So here's no, that's my Netflix page. I am so prepared. This is primetime television, people. This is how we do it. Now we've got it. So here's the crowdfunding page. Lady Satan, an angel in a killer's dress. I'm going to be an editor twice on you here, Lucifer, because
please do.
Because that's what I do. I am the editor of The Devil You Know, which is an anthology that Critical Blast just published about 6 months ago.
Fantastic.
20 short stories of people's encounters with some guy named Lucifer. First of all, she's not wearing a dress. There's no dress at all in here. And secondly, and this would be okay up here, easy fix, but not so much down here where you've already got the thing logoed up. There's no possessive apostrophe in the killers.
You know what? I've had a couple of people say that. But this is a book that I've actually I've run things like that through an English literature professor who said it's fine with or without. So I'm trusting him.
Yeah, well, you know, if you can get it past professor, that's fine. I'm just going to keep shilling tonight. My first book was Alice's Journey Beyond the Moon, and when I sent it off to the publisher, I said it was a publisher out of England. It was Telos Publishing. They did all the Doctor Who books for a while. And they kicked it back, and they're like, well, you know, I was doing things like spelling don't, D-O, or I forget what word it was, wouldn't or something. Anyway, if it was missing 2 letters, I would put 2 apostrophes. And they're like, no, that's not how it's done. I'm like, but here are Lewis Carroll's official manuscripts from, you know, Alice in Wonderland, and he did. And they looked at it and they're like, I'll be damned. Okay.
But yeah, you're not the first person to bring up the apostrophe. I think it's in a way, I kind of like that it isn't there, because I think it will just make some people go, it does need it. No, it doesn't. And it kind of like creates that conversation, a bit like with the spelling of Hitchhiker in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah,
is it 2 H's or 1 H? It's
yeah, or is there the hyphen?
Oh yes. And I love that book. God, that takes me back. That was one of those series where it was quite obvious the author had a contract.
Yes,
for books, because it's like, here you go, 2 great books. That's great, Arthur, but there's supposed to be 2 more. Fuck. Because it was like way up here, and then like
And then, yeah, a drastic dive all of a sudden.
Yes, exactly. It's like, but the story's over. So before I start going down the perks on this, you have gone to the trouble of making a video for this.
I have indeed.
So let us go ahead and play that.
Yeah.
And see see if we can get this to work.
You'll think I'm sadistic, twist it forever. Wanna discuss it? Why did you want it? You son of a bitch, I'm gonna hate it forever. 1 minute, 3 years, I'll spit in your face. You coward, you weirdo. You face this shit, let go. You coward, you weirdo. Yes, you fucking piece of shit. You coward, you weirdo. You face this shit, let go. You coward, you weirdo. You face us. Deep into the force and keep wanting me. I'm a mistake, or I'm gonna see. Insane voice and dying me. Baby, what a rebound.
Holy hell. I could watch that a few times.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So obviously there's currency conversion going on here because it's like $2,671. What an odd number to be a goal.
Yeah.
But because of math, people. It's because of math.
Yes.
26% there, and you've only been up for 1 day.
That is correct. Just 1 day. So I'm really pleased with the progress of the campaign so far. It's been absolutely wonderful. The support that people have been showing is been second to none. It has really taken me aback and overwhelmed me in some cases with how many people have messaged saying, dude, I can't back it now, but when I get paid on this day, I'm going to come along and back it. I've already had people get in touch saying, look, I've been looking for a Christmas present for my girlfriend, and I think she would love this.
Well, maybe for next Christmas, though, because of the way crowdfunding works.
Yeah, exactly. I had to break it gently to them, like, you do realize this is kind of like a pre-order. This book, you know, it's probably not going to ship till about July. If I can make it happen sooner, believe you me, I will.
Here, you can give her a gift wrap receipt. It's coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I did notice, while I wasn't being blown away by the art and the music here, the details. It's a 130-page story. Yeah, it's going to be 150 pages in the book total, so there's going to be bonus material and art and such. Yeah. Hardcover and softcover version.
Yep.
So you're going for both at the same time. This is the print set bundle, the featured one. So this is going to be, help me out. Oh, we're going with A3 and A4 numbers again. God help me.
Yes. I noticed that when you had Russ on, there was that issue with, like, what does A3 and A4 mean?
So A3 is like this big.
Yeah, roughly, give or
This
take.
is your standard comic book.
Right, if that's your standard comic book, then the book you've got behind it is closer to A4, so A3 would be double that.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute now. No. I thought the comic books were A4 and they got bigger as the numbers got smaller.
They get bigger as the numbers get smaller, sure. But okay. An American size comic book is just that little bit smaller than A4.
Okay. All right. We're talking. Let's get the unimportant stuff off the screen here. We're not talking about that anymore.
Let's do this right. Let's really make sure everyone knows.
A4. A3?
No, not quite. Not quite. I might be able to help you out a little bit. I only might, though, say that.
I've been reading Michael Plug's interpretation of L. Frank Baum's The Life and Adventure. What is it called? The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus.
Okay, so we've got an American standard size comic book right there.
Okay.
A4 pad. That's how they look together. So you got about like this extra inch on the top and sides. So this is A4.
Pencil. Your notepad is A4.
Yeah, the notepad's A4. So if you imagine two notepads side by side, that's A3.
Oh my goodness. So
that's the one.
okay. So
I'm gonna have to do what
fucking book.
Well, the book's only A4, the poster's A3.
Oh, okay.
I like to work for that little bit of extra real estate on the page, but not that much.
I was like, this is like a director's cut of some decent. That's nice. Okay, so heart rates come back down. A3 poster. We can show this thing again now. So this is the print set bundle. You get print A, print B. A safe for work variant, or is that supposed to be a not safe for work variant?
There is a not. Yeah, you get both, a safe for work and a not safe for work.
All right, accreditation. That big long fancy word for your name in the book.
Yep.
Got it. The softcover edition and that big poster.
Yep, the big poster.
So that's $53 US. Where are you shipping from? You shipping from
the UK.
Okay, it's going to cost more than $53.
Yes, unfortunately it is. That's part of the reason why I went for a soft cover and hardcover. Originally, it was just going to be a hardcover edition. And then I saw how bad the postage would be for you guys in the US. And I was like, no. I can't expect everyone to do that. So I thought, throw the soft cover in there. And then that way, you guys in the US, you get to decide. If you've got that money to spend and you really want the hardcover, I will not stop you whatsoever. But there is the soft cover option for someone who wants to save a few bucks.
You know, someone, and I think John Malin's trying to do this, but somebody could make a nice career out of being a UK hub in the US for distribution.
Yes.
Because you could just sign everything there and pay one shipping fee to get it all here, and then he disperses. And likewise, you know, because everyone in America is bitching about, I've got to pay $25 to ship something to, and that's what it is. When I shipped out author copies for the Devil You Know, I was like, you get here's $250 for yours, $250 for yours, $27. What the hell?
Yes.
And all they could say is, well, you got to put it on a plane. I'm like, well, but it's not getting in first class seating. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have any carry-on luggage or anything.
I'll put it in the overhead. I mean, literally, I could give it to somebody at the airport who's going that way, and they could just carry it for free and drop it in the post.
Yeah, exactly. The plane's going there anyway. It doesn't weigh that much.
But yeah, I mean, if somebody wanted to set up a hub in the UK, said, "Hey, guess what, America? All you Yanks over there, we will ship your books for you. We'll parcel them out and package them together. We'll put them in the Gemini mailers. We'll be real nice about it."
Yeah.
The only trick, I was going to say the only trick would be if you had to sign them, but you could sign them all in bulk and ship them at one time.
Yeah, then that wouldn't be so much of a problem. There's clearly a hole in the market there, and someone has to fill it soon, just to save everyone who's backing independent books through Indiegogo and Kickstarter and stuff. I mean, like, I've bought so many books from Indiegogo, and the amount of them that come from the US, and I feel your pain when the roles are reversed, because when I get one from the US, it could be like a $30 book, and translated into English money, that's probably about 25 British pounds here. But then you're almost paying the same amount again for the shipping, and it does sting a little bit. So I feel everyone's paying when they back a book from another country.
I find out that's why a lot of people are preferring PDF, because I was always like, why are you selling a PDF? Nobody wants PDFs. No, a lot of people do want PDFs.
Yes. I've been put onto this recently. Like, I haven't done a digital perk for this book, but I may change that really soon, because there's more and more people saying, look, it saves us money and we get the book a bit sooner. And with COVID going on, there are a lot of people who aren't receiving their books because the books are getting to shore, but they can't be shipped out for months on end.
And I've also we have a guy who shows up in our chat regularly. He's working in the field in the Arctic tundra. He has no long white boxes up there to store things in. So he's a field, and he reads them on his electronic devices. It's the only way he can read comics right now.
Yeah, so needs they must. So I'm looking at adding a digital perk at some point, a PDF or a CBR file, or maybe even both. I mean, like, people will still have to wait until the book's been finished illustrated, of course.
Sure.
But at least they'll be some of the first people to get it, and once they put their money down, they know that they're definitely going to get it. The moment that book's ready, boom, fire off the email, and then they can just enjoy it at their leisure.
Well, we've talked about that perk. We haven't even gotten into what the book is about and why they should buy it in the first place. We kind of put Descartes before Horst.
Yes.
So let's talk about what the book is and why the book is. Why you're writing this.
Yeah. Cool. This book, you will have to bear with me because I am reading some of it straight from the campaign, but it's all right. I got this stuff memorized anyway. Lady Satan is a very, very dark revenge tale that takes elements of the thriller genre, it takes elements of the horror genre, and it blends them together with a noir aesthetic to create a very haunting, character-driven story that's very personal through darkness and vengeance. That is the basic pitch for this book. But what it all really boils down to is Lady Satan is the tale of Lucille. Now, Lucille's a stripper from France who was abducted to be the star of a snuff film. However, she did one thing that other people haven't. She survived. And because of that, her life is being turned upside down. She is being ripped apart emotionally, mentally, almost physically as well. And she's decided to take on the moniker of Lady Satan because that used to be her stage name when she was stripping. And she's using it to be her name as a vigilante. So she's been traveling from town to town, country to country, taking down small-time crooks, big-time crooks, until she finds herself on British soil. She's looking for the only existing copy of the snuff film that she was in so that she can destroy it and hopefully get her life back to somewhat being normal. But along her journeys, she discovers that the man who tortured her and abused her in front of the camera is a high-ranking British police officer who's under investigation from the MI5. So she has one chance and one chance only to exact her revenge upon him. And that's what this book is about.
Okay. So the pentagrams and the Lady Satan, there's no supernatural or supernal element in the book. It's
more symbolic than anything. But a part of her character is that she does know a little bit of chaos magic, and she's reluctant to use it because she doesn't fully believe that it works. But in extreme circumstances, she'll take the chance and create sigils and stuff. But most of the time, it's just her using her hands and her mind. And evening pops, how the devil art thou, good sir?
I just noticed now because I've got it pulled up on my big monitor over here as opposed to the laptop here. The horns that she's got built into her goggles there.
Yes.
That is. First of all, I love the aesthetic. I love the design on that, but I'm going to say this anyway because I've always wanted to say that about steampunk. Does anybody ever wear the goggles, or are they always just supposed to be forehead decorations? You know?
I think they're always forehead decorations from what I've seen. I mean, I've appeared at a fair few conventions in the UK, and steampunk is quite big here in the UK. In fact, where I'm sat right now, I can throw a stone in this direction, and I will hit Mary Shelley's grave.
Oh.
And every year on Mary Shelley's birthday, the steampunk community all come together in their outfits and everything, and they sit around her grave and have a cup of tea and talk about her and stuff. And it's really lovely. It's such a wonderful thing to experience.
I just figured, that sometimes it's not even on their foreheads, like it's on their hat. So
Yes.
Sitting above the brim. It's like you're expecting to do a bit of spot welding sometime tonight. You never know when you have to arc weld something together here, so you're prepared. I only see it at conventions when I go there, the sci-fi conventions locally.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Victorian elements mixed with the weaponry they built. It's all fun. I love the artwork that goes into it. But this is a modern setting. Obviously, it's a current modern day, not even near future. It's like the world outside your window, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing I am trying to do with it is keep technology out of it as best as I can, because I find that nothing dates a book quicker than like a reference to Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep that stuff out and trying to bring in more nostalgic kind of technology. So like I said, she's searching for this snuff film, but she's not looking for it on a Blu-ray or on a hard drive. She's looking for a VHS tape. And one of the early scenes in the book, when we meet one of the other characters, instead of there being an MP3 player on or a CD player on, it's a vinyl. It's a record player just spinning a vinyl round. I kind of like bringing that element into the story. That way, it doesn't feel too dated to me.
Sure. Yeah, nothing cements a moment in a film or a comic like a pager going off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I rewatched Deadpool from 2016 not too long ago. And one of the first things that stood out to me was the references to Twitter. And I was like, those references, they worked at the time, but they don't really work for me anymore. So that was like a big lesson of like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it would be like if you were watching Deadpool and he talked about his MySpace page. It'd be like...
Exactly. Because I mean, like, Twitter's very popular at the moment, obviously, for obvious reasons. But there is going to come a day where people are going to be like, man, do you remember that thing we used to use called Twitter? What were we thinking?
Yeah, not soon enough.
Yes.
So back to the tiers. We've gone past the print set bundle. And this is the bundle. It's a soft cover edition, but you've got these artwork tiers here. Print A and print B. Are they, if I scroll down, will I see these prints?
Yes, you will do indeed. Print B, which is the 2 variant prints, what you'll see like black and white line art, but it is actually being colored by a guy called Coparticus. He's a very talented upcoming colorist, and people are going to really want to keep an eye on his work. I've seen a rough of what he's doing with the coloring, and it's completely blown my mind. He's taken it to absolutely new levels for me.
Okay, this can't be in the book, Lucifer. I'm sorry. We're going to have a problem.
No. This isn't the one in the book. You're going to have to go a bit higher, I'm afraid.
I scrolled down apparently too quickly. And then all the pictures popped in as I passed it up. So where am I missing the prints at?
That is a good question, because they should be under the pages, but above all the other stuff that we've already seen.
Well, we got some nice pages. Well, this is the point where you just say, well, fuck it, there's 2 prints in here.
Yes, there's 2 prints. And you've already shown off one. That pin-up that you showed is print A. Got it.
Okay, well, I might have them in the 7-zip file then. Okay, so this is the first pin-up. Says me. Okay, so that's pinup A.
Yep, that's pinup A. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a nice high kick there. And she's in boots, not heels, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sensible shoes.
She's a sensible lady.
And maybe this poster extra render.
Yes, that's the A3 poster that you'll get, which will be exclusive to this campaign. Once this campaign's over, you won't be able to get that poster.
Now, I'm assuming the entire book is monochrome spot color.
The whole book's black and white.
Okay, no red. Just the poster.
No red. So that was one thing I thought, I'll dabble with that in the poster and with the other pin-up, but not necessarily inside of the book. Although that might change with future books depending on how this campaign goes.
And when you say it's black and white, it's not grayscale. It's black.
That's right.
And white.
Yep. Yes. The little parts that you see that you think are gray, they're not. That's just very fine detail that's been added.
And you do your own artwork.
Yes,
This is
I
not
am.
something that you wrote it and sent it to somebody else. So you have the advantage with that you're not having to pay an artist in advance and be in the hole for a large amount of money that you've got to try to hope to make up on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can pay yourself itty bitty amount of money and you can undervalue your work is what I'm really getting at.
Yes, I almost did with this one. I showed the campaign to a couple of trusted friends and they were like, dude, you're charging way too little for the book. Stop undervaluing yourself. This is a good book. Bump up that price.
I did notice it's a 60-day event. Why did you go for the full 60 instead of going to 30 and then renew for 30? Because the algorithm at work.
Well, the reason why I did that is because of the time of year. Now, if I had launched this, say, September time, I would have gone for the 30 days and then renewed for another 30 days. But I thought, you know what? It's Christmas time. We've also got New Year coming up. A lot of people are going to see this campaign early and they're going to be like, I want to back it. I just can't do it now. And if they see that time ticking down, they're going to be put off from backing it. So I thought, you know what? Just go for the full 60. And just let it happen. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I've learned a very hard lesson very quickly.
I've seen people do the 60 and I've seen people do 30 and 30. And someone once explained to me why 30 and 30 was better than 60. But I have no idea what it was. It has something to do with the way Indiegogo looks at a book and starts promoting it to other people. But I don't crowdfund. I don't draw comics. I write, and since I can't draw them, I'm not going to make a comic book, and I don't have to worry about it.
But that could change one day. You just never know.
You never know. If I run into somebody who wants to partner with me on a book, I have several of them that could be. I could take several of the novel ideas I'm working on and do them graphic novels easily enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the first tier after the feature tier, that's the soft cover. If you want to get the soft cover book, if you back the book, it looks like you're going to get a thank you note in the back of the book.
Yes, every perk comes with creditation, so everyone will get their name in the book that backs this book.
That's very cool, because that's really what they are. They're producers in a sense.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, sure, this book doesn't exist without me sitting down and writing the book and drawing the book, of course, but it also doesn't exist without you guys backing it as well. So it's only, if I'm getting credit, it's only fair that they get credit too. And at the end of the day, my name's on the front of the book. So I'm cool with that. If people get their name inside of the book, even better. Absolutely.
$27 for the soft cover editions, 150-page soft cover. So that's a phone book. It's not a phone book. It's a nice sized. It's hefty.
Yes,
you're getting your money's worth for the $27.
You could do some damage to a police officer if you hit them over the head with it, but I don't recommend doing that.
You want to get the hardcover for that anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
And the hardcover is only $40 US, so it's $13 difference between softcover and hardcover, and it's going to now. Okay, so is your hardcover? Are you going to print on the cover, or are you going to have like a dust jacket?
It's going to be print on the cover. I hoped for a dust jacket, but unfortunately, that was not an option. Which is a shame.
Not to do it. When shilling. When we printed Bulletproof Origins, book number 1 by Stephen J. Mitchell, it had the dust jacket option. We put that. So.
I do love a dust jacket, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm mixed and torn. They look great, but any book that I have a dust jacket on, that dust jacket's coming off before I loan it to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
and I have behind me, I have some hardcovers with dust jackets that I've had since 1987.
Wow.
And I've moved so many times, but I have like the greatest Batman stories ever told in hardcover with a dust jacket on it. And the dust jacket's just like the bottom of it is torn and it's got all the little rips and everything in it from moving. But, when you open the book, it's signed by Sheldon Moldoff and Julius Schwartz and Dick Giordano and Jim Aparo and Denny O'Neil, all the people that I met at conventions in the 80s that were back in the good old days, you just walked up to people and got signatures, stood in line for an hour and a half to pay $50 for two.
Oh God, isn't that frustrating as well? See, that's another thing with this campaign. When you back the book, regardless of which tier you're going for, before you get to checkout, it will ask you, do you want it signed or unsigned? And it costs you no extra to have it signed. Because I'm a big believer in you shouldn't charge for your autograph. If someone asks for your autograph, they are a fan. They've already supported you. They've already put money in your pocket. The least you can do is take a few seconds of your time to sign the book for them. It costs you nothing.
I agree. First time I actually started seeing limits on signatures was Neil Gaiman at a convention. Because before then, I would just walk in with stacks of things.
Yes.
Like everybody else. I mean, you walk in, like, here you go, here's my collection.
Even if I turn up to a collection because I've asked a convention because I've been asked to be there to sign and stuff, I still bring a shitload of my own stuff going, I know who's on the guest list and I want some stuff signed.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that. You've gone to conventions. What is your, because the American audience will possibly not know the books that you've worked on in the UK, because you only have 2000 AD. That's it. That's the only book you publish over there.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We also have like Marvel reprints and stuff like that, but they don't tend to do too well because they're normally stuff from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's not the prime stuff from like the 80s and 90s that people really want to get back into.
Hey, we'd kill for some of the Marvel from 5 to 6 years ago right now.
Oh, I bet. I've been keeping an eye on the mainstream industry, and I've got some words, but it's probably best that I keep them to myself for now.
So this is why I like the CG stuff, the CG UK stuff, the even the non-CG crowdfunded stuff. So many talented people coming forth and showing that, hey, there are creators out here who know how to make comics.
Yes.
And we're not making those comics.
Yes, absolutely. I'm finding with the independent scene, especially within the UK side of the independent scene, you're not seeing the competition in superhero stories. You're actually seeing it in the horror stories, which is really refreshing to see, especially as I'm a big horror fan myself. So seeing more horror books out there, it's like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. But you're also seeing pirate books, you're seeing romance books, science fiction books, and it's really wonderful to see all these different genres getting their time in the sun through the medium of comics.
Absolutely. And it's always been available, but we were just so hung up on the superhero. Because that's all that survived the Wortham attacks was the superhero books.
Yeah.
Because I guess we didn't think we could tell the other stories with the restrictions that were put on it.
Oh, yes, the damage that Seduction of the Innocent did.
Yeah, that was...
It's tragic. And when they tried to reuse that during the Video Nasty scandal over here in the UK in the 80s, it just made things even worse.
We go in cycles with, absolutely free speech, not that.
Yes, free speech, careful what you say, which is
So we talked about the softcover edition, 150 pages, $27 US, hardcover. Are there any? There's no extra pages in the hardcover. It's just simply it's hardcover, right? I mean, is there any?
Yeah, it's just literally a hardcover version of the same book. Because, like I said, originally I wanted it to just be the hardcover, but then I saw all these shipping costs, and I was like, no, I've got to do something about this. So there's got to be a softcover edition. So now the hardcover edition is limited to just 50 pieces at present. Obviously, if the demand for the hardcover starts getting higher, then that number on the limit will start getting higher as well.
Oh, yes. Then you get the 2-book bundle. Now, 2 books, that's 2 soft covers. You got a 2 soft cover bundle here for $47. Obviously saving money on postage.
Yep. Absolutely. That way, if anyone's in the US and they've got a friend who's interested, they can kind of get together, save themselves a few bucks each, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah. Also, people who like they're like retailers who want to get something like this on their store shelves, and they want to get a couple of copies.
Yes, absolutely.
now we got a book and T-shirt bundle. So we got this really cool Lady Satan graphic, the image that we've seen so far with her in front of the pentagram and the title treatment. You get a softcover edition and a unisex T-shirt. The T-shirt is limited to 10 pieces, so there's only 10 shirts. Oh, there
Only
it is.
10 shirts.
Very limited. $53 to be one of 10 people out of 6 billion in the world. People.
Yes. You know that saying when people say you're 1 in a million? Well, if you back that perk, you literally are.
Absolutely. You're 1 in 600 million if you take the 10. 6 billion divided by 10. Yeah, I think I've done that.
Yeah.
Carry the 2. So you get the T-shirt, you get credited in the book, you get the softcover edition, and this is all the tiers you got. I'm actually kind of surprised, Lucifer, because you've only got the hardcover edition in one tier.
Yes. There are add-ons. You know, so you could, if you get the hardcover and you're like, I really want the poster as well, you can add that on. The only thing you can't add on is the T-shirt, which sucks. I wanted to change that, but realistically, I couldn't do that. However, I am looking, as I said, to add a couple of extra perks along the way. So hopefully that will keep people happy.
All right, so I'm going to scroll back up so we can look at some of the art from the book now. This is the cover. This was going to be printed on the hardcover and softcover frontispiece. An angel in a killer's dress. We've already talked about how she's wearing her bra and lace, so there's no dress involved.
Well, the angel in a killer's dress is kind of like an homage to like the Giallo movies from Italy. They have these long, beautiful titles like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. So I really wanted to pay homage to that by having an angel in a killer's dress.
I was thinking something like the girl with the dragon tattoo kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah.
We're going to take a quick, brief break here, Lucifer, and reload the page. Because I think we have a shake and bake.
BAP too.
I think we have a shake and bake moment here.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yes, we get to.
It's shake and bake, and I help. It's shake and bake, and I help.
That's an awesome clip.
Yeah, that's early 70s for a chicken or a steak coating flour that you'd fill this Ziploc bag with flour, throw your raw meat in it, and shake it, and then just pull it out and bake it. And they're like, well, what do we call this? We shake and bake.
Shake and bake. It sells itself.
It sells itself. And I helped, and I've been, stuck. It's just very few people remember that. And anytime, somebody now helps out with a campaign, it's like, it's shake and bake, and I helped.
BAP2, you are absolutely awesome for backing this campaign. If anyone tells you differently, send them in my direction, and I will show them the evidence that you are officially awesome.
And his book's his name's going to be in the book now. So
yeah, exactly. You're one of the producers on this book now.
It probably even has a banner at the top of the page that says "Awesome People." Oh, now a fan art section. So that begs the question: have you already collected all the fan art, or do you have a call out for fan art?
I have collected a fair amount of fan art so far, but there is always room for more. So if anyone wants to send me fan art, please do so. You can find me on places like Twitter where you can send it to me, or you can just email it to me, luciferstorm@hotmail.com, and I will be more than happy to put it in the book.
So here we are in the book.
Yes, this is the very first page of the book.
I mean, this star field and these interlacing girders of the tower. I'm assuming the Eiffel Tower, but I could be wrong. It could be just.
No, it is the Eiffel Tower, indeed.
I see a lot of structures that I'm like, oh, is that the Eiffel Tower? No, those are just high tension lines. I mean, just the pattern working. Are you using computer on this, or is this like freehand?
There's one double page spread that I've done traditionally, pencil and paper, and the rest of it I've been illustrating digitally through Clip Studio Paint.
Okay. And that doesn't mean that the computer's painting all this. You've still got to.
Oh no, I'm still drawing it, just going on a screen instead of on paper.
Exactly. Oh, I love that sky. And obviously she's in duress here.
Yes.
And this is, like you said, they're filming the. Well, they're not filming this. I may be giving too much away. I may be assuming too much, but she's there, and it's something's being filmed because there's a camera.
Yes. And we've got the lovely staccato on the left-hand side showing all these tools, but it's kind of this like theater of the mind moment. You're not seeing how these tools are used, but they've been used, and what they've been used for is fucking horrible.
Yes. And that's what comics is for, is, your mind fills in the gaps.
Yes, absolutely.
Scott McCloud explained it beautifully when he put, two panels next to each other where he's like, there's a man with a knife lunging, and then we're outside the house and a woman screams. He's like, did he kill her? Did she kill him?
Exactly.
A murder's been committed, but only one person committed the murder. The reason.
Yes, exactly. That's such a good way to put it. Scott McCloud is an absolute legend. His Making Comics book is like a Bible for indie comics creators.
Yes. And I've got it back here, and I've got Reinventing Comics, and I may have to read Reinventing Comics because that whole distribution model we talked about is not letting me go. And I'm like, Scott Adams had a Dilbert strip one time where Dilbert's getting off the train, and there's a guy with a, when you get off the train, there's people selling everything, and he's selling nose puppies, little cylinder bullet things painted like a puppy, and he's like, nose puppies? I said, I see a hole and I fill it. I want to do nose puppy. I'm in a nose puppy kind of moment here. I'm doing a common thing. Now, is this Lady Satan in the black here in the silhouette?
It is indeed. Some people, they tend to see this image and think that it's from the climax of the book, and it isn't. This all the stuff that you're seeing artwork wise in this campaign is from the first act of a 5-act structure. So there's not too much being spoiled, if anything.
This man's hand is fucked up.
Oh yes, indeed.
I'm glad it's black and white because I have a feeling there'd be a lot of red.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love all the detail in the background and the carpeting. This is not just, we're all operating against a chartreuse or a lilac background that's devoid of anything. There's a lot of perspective in here.
Oh yes.
You just don't get so much anymore.
No, you don't. And believe you me, it's very, very time consuming, but I feel it's worth it because it's not like I'm working with a publisher and I've got an editor breathing down my neck going, we should have had 10 pages 5 minutes ago. So I don't see why I can't spend that little bit of extra time and let the pages be what the pages want to be.
So no, she's obviously, exacted revenge on this one fellow here, and she's walking away, and then something's wrong with her.
Yes. This is the bit that normally makes people go, okay, you're a bit messed up in the head. If you're going to survive a trauma like being the lead in a snuff film, and you're going to have all this damage done to you mentally and physically, there's going to be some symptoms that hang around for a long, long time. So she obviously has post-traumatic stress disorder. She also has PGAD, which stands for persistent genital arousal disorder. So every time she kills someone, she ends up having a very painful and debilitating orgasm.
That's interesting.
Yes, and it's a real thing that not a lot of people know about.
And it's painful. Damn it, that's just not right.
Exactly.
Oh. Well, now my Google history is going to get a whole lot more fucked up tonight.
The FBI agent who's watching is going to be like, this dude, fucking hell.
I already write the Destroyer novels. which every one of those books is him stopping some terrorist group from exacting some over-the-top thing. My Google history is on a file somewhere.
If not, then someone's not doing their job.
Exactly. Where exactly is the best place to put dynamite on a bridge that's 3 miles long? Oh my God. We have more bald people. Here we can see how scarred up she is.
Yes.
The back, the face. She's been very damaged.
Yeah. This is the one time that you can say they've been to hell and back, and it's not a metaphor.
Yeah, she's kind of got a Voldemort thing going on here with her face. I don't know if her if her nose was broken or something at some point, but it's kind of the straight front on leads me to think that she's been smushed there.
Oh yes, a lot of damage has been done to her face, and the reason why she's bald, I've had a few people ask this, because you'll see that there's scarring there, and it's because during the snuff film she was scalped.
Oh geez.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure, because one of the main rules of telling a revenge story is whatever has happened to your protagonist, they cannot do anything worse than that to the people who have hurt them. Otherwise, they become the villain of the piece. So I sat there and thought, well, hold on. If she's been in a snuff film and she's gone through extreme stuff like that, there's nothing she can do that is worse than what's being done to her.
Exactly. It's karma works like this. If karma's a thing, then you can go punch anybody in the face that you want, because karma dictates that they've done something to deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Something bad happened to them. They did something that requires it. So we've talked about the perks. We've gone over those. Those were up above. Let's talk about stretch goals. Yes, there are stretch goals. So they are.
Yes, there are a couple of stretch goals at the moment. There will be more, but I'm playing it safe and saying, okay, here's a couple of stretch goals. They're small to start off with, but once we fulfill one stretch goal, another one will open up, and the stretch goals will get bigger and bigger as time goes on. And
that first stretch goal is at 2,500 pounds. We don't know where that is in dollars. I don't know how many pounds you're at, but I'm assuming it's a 2,500 pound total goal.
Sorry,
what's the total goal in pounds?
In pounds, the total goal is 2,000. 2,000.
Okay, yeah. So 500 pounds above the goal will open up the first stretch goal, which is the bookmark.
Yep.
Bookmark, cool. We have bookmarks.
Yeah, I like bookmarks, and I don't see too many people using them. So I kind of want to change that.
Yeah.
See, lovely.
We've done that. We're there.
Awesome.
And you've done the button at the 3,000 level. You know what? You know what people like, Lucifer?
Oh, please tell me.
Stickers.
Yes, the early bird sign up people are all getting stickers with their perks as a way of saying thank you for signing up to the email list and everything. But there will be more stickers involved. I can promise you that.
Okay, well, see, we have. You know what the difference between this sticker and this is?
One of them looks as if it's got like that. Oh, hello.
One is a magnet.
Oh, lovely.
That's one of these, flexible magnets, but
yes,
still a magnet.
See, this is the thing. I like getting these suggestions from people. Some people seem a bit kind of cautious about, like, should I say anything? Yes, please do, because I want to know what the readers want, not what I want. I know what I want. I want to see what the readers want.
Have you ever used Sticker Mule?
No, I can't say I have.
Stickermule.com. A lot of people are using that. And one of the other things they have here. I've got so many of them because they send them to me free every time I make an order, and I use them to prop my monitor up because it leans forward just a slightly. So I've got a stack of them pushing my monitor back so it's comfortable. But you go to your local pub, you make friends with the bartender, and you say, "Hey, I want to give you something that you can throw away as you need to. I'm going to give you some coasters." And
see. I like that idea.
And you'll have some Lady Satan coasters.
Now, I really like that idea, and I'm going to tell you why. Like, at the moment, I'm in my home studio, but I do actually rent a studio away from home that sits directly above my local pub that I normally drink at. So I've got a very good relationship with the guys there. So I'm all up for getting them some coasters and going, oh, go on, put a few of these out. It won't hurt.
Yeah, you just have like the Indiegogo or post Indiegogo on online site where you might be picking these up later. I don't know. Do you have plans for post Indiegogo with the book? Are you going to have extra copies available? Are you going to go in demand?
Oh yes, it's going to go in demand as long as we like. This is how I've got it figured out. If we reach the goal, and it's we just reached the goal, maybe the first stretch goal, then yes, we'll be in demand. There will be overprinting because I would like to take this to conventions. I'm sure that my local pub would be more than happy to sell some books there as well. And like I said, if we hit that goal of the £2,000. Then we'll wait to hear what the readers say. And if the readers say, this is fucking awesome, we want more of this, then the second book will be greenlit. If we hit the goal and then go way past it, then you can guarantee there will be a second and third book, and there will be mass overprinting and taking it to conventions and stuff. And I am looking at distribution for the European market, because they have a huge comic book scene there, and they really respect the medium. So I'd love to get it into Europe. And I'm looking at, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't know how viable it'd be, but hopefully some distribution in the US as well.
It shouldn't be a problem. If you get the right distributor,
yes,
it shouldn't be a problem, because they already have infrastructure in place to print here and print there.
Exactly.
And that. By the way, folks in the chat, if you like that sticker and you want one, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Critical Blast, 1097 Prestwick Drive, Belleville, Illinois, 62221. Throw USA on there if you're watching this from the CG UK crowd. And we will put, 2 stickers in there. Might even throw a magnet in if I'm feeling lucky. I've still got a small pack of them. And send that out your way, and it won't cost you a thing other than the postage back. Be happy to do that. So here's the team. This is you.
Yes, there is myself. I take on most of the duties. I write the story, I draw the book, I ink the book, I letter the book. I do have an editor, Mr. John Wakefield. He's another up-and-coming talent, and he's doing a fantastic job at just seeing certain pages and going, dude, you missed a trick here. If you do this one little thing, it'll take you 5 minutes, but it will just make it infinitely more awesome. And he's right. Every time, he is absolutely right. But on top of that, there's also going to be a foreword in the book written by Robert Geronimo from Alterna Comics, who does the book Blood Realm and the book Wirehead.
Yes, and we've had Blood Realm on the show.
Awesome, because he's such a cool guy.
He absolutely is. And so let's see here. Some samples of your art. So we tried to talk about this earlier and we didn't quite get into it, but you have been published in other comics.
Yes.
So these are your Daleks. Have these been published anywhere? Or
No, my Daleks haven't been published anywhere. That was just something that I wanted to do just for fun, really. I was watching one of the old Doctor Who's and I was like, I've never drawn Daleks before. I want to give that a go. And the character underneath is the character from the first book that I worked on called Jericho, which is once again, it's a very personal book, but I never got to finish the run. I've had so many people messaging me ever since. I worked on that book back in like 2010, 2011. And even now, I still get messages from people saying, will the book ever be finished? And the answer is always yes. I just don't know when.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Stranger Things going on here.
Yes, I'm a big Stranger. Yes, it is indeed. It's the Demogorgon. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan, and it was just something. Once again, it was just something that I did for myself, and I was like, yeah, I want to draw the Demogorgon, and thought, hey, throw it out there, let people see it.
I've not watched a single episode of Stranger Things. It's in my Netflix queue, but
I love it. I don't know what it is about that show, but I fell in love with it straight away, and I haven't looked back ever since.
Now, you know, when I first saw your title, Lady Satan, I had to do a quick search because I'm like, oh, that could be a problem. But I was thinking of Madam Satan, which is an Archie Comics character.
Oh, I see.
And only up until recently, she never had a book anyway, but they have now come out with a one-shot. Funny thing, though, is when I did do right before we went live here, I did a Twitter GIF search, and I said, we're going live, and I always just throw some random GIF in there. That I said, Lady Satan, and it was like her from the Archie comics, the church lady, you know, from Saturday Night Live, and then the rest of it was all, who is the actor? The actress who played Missy on Doctor Who.
Name escapes me. I should really fucking know this one.
who would also be a dead ringer for the actress who played Madam Satan on Thrilling Adventures of Sabrina. In fact, it might even be the same person for all I know. I'll have to, now I've got to check that out and see if it is or not. What's the chat tell me? They probably got the answer. Same here. I was like, I hope that Archie doesn't sit there and say, hey, that's our title. But no, they're mad.
Start rubbing their hands like Mr. Burns in The Simpsons. Excellent.
Yes. No, he's crowdfunded $792. That's 700 times more than what we've sold of our Madam Satan.
Well, funnily enough, I have had a couple of people, they've tweeted me, they've messaged me saying, does this have anything to do with the Golden Age public domain character of the same name? And it kind of does, but also kind of doesn't, because that Golden Age public domain character, if I remember correctly, was created by George Tusker, who's one of the people who helped create Luke Cage. And it was a book that, or a strip that they did, where they really didn't know what to do with the character. Because one issue, she'd be a spy fighting Nazis. The next issue, she'd be a witch fighting werewolves. So nothing was ever cemented, really, with that character. And that was something that I saw, and I was like, if I did a character called Lady Satan, what would they look like? And, what would their story be? Yeah, that's the Golden Age public domain character. And basically, by the time I was done, I was like, the only thing my character shares in common with this one is the name. So I actually made it a part of Lucille's backstory that when she was younger, she would read comics, and her favorite comic was this Golden Age public domain character. And that's why when she became a stripper, she was like, I'm going to call myself Lady Satan.
That's taking a page right out of the Silver Age Flash, man.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Deep cuts. Always deep cuts.
That's what Barry Allen did. He's like, I'm fast like my favorite superhero in the comics, the Flash. And
exactly. And I've already had a couple of creators as well that I know from certain publishers who are like, I hope this has got nothing to do with the Golden Age Lady Satan, because I'm doing a hot take on that right now.
Well, you know what? It's public domain, so they can still do their hot take. I mean,
exactly. I'm interested to hear their hot takes.
How many people are doing something with the Black Terror, for crying out loud?
Yes, I know. I'm so surprised to see how many people are taking on. Yeah, in fact, there was one public domain character called Miss Mask that I was kind of doing like a similar thing like what I've done here with Lady Satan. And I saw that Dynamite were working with Miss Mask. And at the time of seeing that, I was approached by a publisher to help restore some of the original artwork from the original Miss Mask stuff to do like a whole collected edition. And then that deal ended up falling through. So I was like, you know what? I'm clearly not meant to work on that character right now. She can go over here. Now let's take a look at Lady Satan. And
yeah, there's so many interesting characters. Because everyone had to, once the Captain Marvel Superman lawsuit was in the books, everyone was like, we better make damn sure there's nothing that this character does that's anywhere similar to any other character.
Yes.
So he ended up with stuff like Dynamite Thor, a guy who's immune to dynamite, and he throws it behind him and he rides the explosion.
Yeah.
How he flies, he throws dynamite sticks behind him. Seriously? But John Delarose took that and made a book out of it. That's another idea that I just need to sit down once I get my life in order, and I'm 97. I'll sit down and I'll start doing these things that would actually make a fortune in my mind. All right, so we've crossed over the hour here. This is a great noir thriller mystery revenge book. This is Charles Bronson Death Wish with a very French film flair to it.
Yes, and it's definitely a much more layered book than a lot of comics usually are. Because, like I said, it's a character-driven story, so we're not just seeing this journey that she's going on. We're getting inside of her head along the way, and we're starting to learn how to feel what she's feeling, how to empathize with her, and it's as the creator, it's a really wonderful experience to do that, and I sincerely hope that the readers feel exactly the same.
Well, I'm sure they will. And 60 days, not that much farther to go in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, it's at 29%. Might as well call it a third done. We'll round it up a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
One third in one day.
That's pretty damn good. I'm not complaining.
Absolutely. So is there anything else about the character, about the book, about the funding that we should know about that I haven't had the presence of mind to ask about?
I think we have pretty much covered everything with the book. I mean, like I said, there's the fan art section. If people want to send fan art in, they can. It does at the moment say 130-page story and 150 pages altogether. I have calculated extra room just in case the story goes over 130 pages. There is a possibility that will happen. It will not cost anyone any extra if that's the case. What you see on the campaign, that's what you're paying, regardless of how many extra pages end up in the book.
And that's why you never design your cover until the page count is finalized.
Yeah, that's why I only have the front cover at the moment.
just the front cover is all you do.
Yes.
The whole reason. Oh, good Lord, this is behind inside baseball stuff. The whole reason that the spine of this book is off.
Yes.
I thought I was on top of things. I used one of the previous books. I was like, yes, the 5x8 size is what we want. Yeah. I filled out the manuscript with that. I submitted it to them, said, here it is, 5x8. And they printed. And they're like, we're printing and we're seeing errors. They printed copies with text running off the sides because I had apparently picked a 6x9 and submitted it as a 5x8, and nobody caught it. So it was like first day they immediately stopped it. Now, I think they printed like 9 copies before submitting. So I came back, I fixed it. Shove that into a 5, the right size, the 5x8.
Yeah.
Gained 130 pages.
Oh man. Oh man, that's painful.
Very painful. It's like, so that spine's gonna go like this. It's not like 2 pages. It's like it was big. It was a big. But it made it look a hell of a lot better. It's like, I want a bigger, thicker book. It looks like you're gonna sit down and spend some time with it now. And by the way, if you read the description below, the first link you're going to see is to the Indiegogo, which will take you to over here on my big monitor. You all see my monitor, right? I'm not sharing.
Oh, cool.
It will take you to the Indiegogo page where you can back and fund Lady Satan. But once you're done with that, keep reading the description. It will take you to the Amazon links for all the books that Critical Blast publishes, which includes Gods and Services, Bulletproof, and The Devil You Know. And of course, we even have a tip jar because you haven't seen super chats come in here tonight, Lucifer. No. We don't do that. I try to say that like it's a moral decision, but it's YouTube's decision. we don't have the watch hours yet for that. We're working on it slowly and organically. But until such time, I'll pretend that I'm on a high horse.
I get it. I get it, man.
All right. Well, it's 2 a.m. and 10 minutes where you're at, so get some sleep so you can get up in the morning and draw more pages and make more pictures.
I will do.
Best of luck. We're going to follow this through to the end and let the followers know about it. We'll have the replay out here tomorrow, and we'll be advertising that so people can jump in and fund it. And
Awesome.
Thank you for bringing it on the show. Thank you all to our viewers, especially those of you who back this book. We always appreciate you backing the authors that we bring on the show. Makes them want to come back with their next book, which means
on
a show.
Hell yeah. You guys have been awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on, Lucifer. I appreciate it.